and Wiener. And you know what? I don't care.
Yep.
I'm good with either one of them.
What do you
So,
wanna
what are you going to do? So, let's get up to speed here on a couple things, shall we?
Let's do that.
Okay, so thing number one, you and I are going to probably both need to get back in shape with The Walking Dead because, or do you? Because I have not watched the last 3 or 4 episodes.
I have not watched any of the episodes, and the one good thing, my wife got me on a pick list for the comics that are coming out. So I've got tons of reading to do, and she got me the Amory Wars. For anybody who doesn't know that, that's a comic book written by Claudio Sanchez from Coheed and Cambria. Freaking awesome comic book series, and the best part it syncs up with the records. So
wow.
You can listen to different albums, and it syncs up to all the series of that comic.
Well, that's cool.
So I've got a ton of comic book reading to do.
Yeah, you do.
And I haven't watched any Walking Dead at all.
I haven't. Like I said, I haven't watched like the last 3 or 4 episodes. So we'll get caught up with you, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you that only listen to us for our
Walking Dead commentary,
or our stay tuned. We'll pick that back up because now I got a reason to. I don't know. I will say this. This season's kind of gone a little slow for me.
Yeah.
Even though it is all out war.
Yeah.
It's gone a little slow for me. I don't know why. Maybe I'm growing up. Maybe I'm growing up and out of it. But we'll see.
Possibly. I mean, you get to a certain point in a series where it's just like, okay, I mean, what else you guys gonna do?
Yeah, and I think it just started moving a little bit too. Like, I expected All Out War to be just kind of like, boom, bang, boom, bang.
Yeah.
And it's been more like, boom, lots of talking, bang, lots of talking.
Yeah.
And it's not character building. I guess they did some Negan character building.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm going to say. And a little bit of the King's character building, Ezekiel and stuff.
Well.
But, I don't know. It's just been kind of it's been a tough watch this season. But I'll catch up. You catch up, and we'll start our commentary back up.
We'll reconvene later.
Yeah, we'll reconvene you later on that one. The Kansas City Chiefs. Were you able to keep up with that?
I saw a lot of trades and acquirements on the old Facebook.
Oh, so you saw a lot of the new stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So for those of you that, because again, we cover a lot of things on here. So and this is kind of a weird episode because we're kind of getting back in touch with each other as well as with you, everybody out there. So long story short, we won 5 in a row, and then it was like awesome, and we thought we were going to do awesome, and then we lose like 5 in a row, and then we go like 1-2 over the next 3 games, and then we end up winning our last 3 or 4.
Yeah, but we still can't do well in the playoffs. Like
it's totally a playoff thing. So kind of what happened is a lot of people, especially in this area, were getting down on the referee's calls because he did make a couple of questionable calls.
That is true.
However, when you're a defense and you allow a team to come back from, I think it was 21-3 or something like that.
Yeah.
There's bigger problems than the ref.
True.
One of those maybe could have been a ref issue, but that still makes it 20. No, I think it was like 21 or 24 or something like that to 10. There's no. If this team was a good team, especially on defense, there would have been no comeback.
Yeah.
Because even if, let's just say the 2 calls that were, because there were 2 calls that were questionable. We're talking the 2 fumbles.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I do remember that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the 2 fumbles, there was a fumble,
Yeah.
and then that got overturned, and then there was a fumble that on the
Titans.
There was a fumble on the field goal.
Oh yeah.
That they whistled dead, which everybody should have heard that it was whistled dead, and then there was a fumble, and for some reason people were like, "We were robbed," and I'm like, "No, he whistled the game ball. He whistled because the forward progress had stopped, and all they were doing was just running them backwards. And I think they ran them backwards to like the 50 fucking yard line by that time.
Yeah.
So you're gonna whistle the play dead.
Yeah.
Fumble. People got mad. I don't get that one. Because I understand how to play football actually.
Yeah.
That's fine with me. The other fumble was a little questionable. They whistled it dead. It was another dead whistle, but they whistled it dead as soon as the guy hit the ground, and the ball was already loose. So
Yes.
that was a bad call on the ref's part, because what happens normally is Guy hits the ground, or the ball's loose, the guy hits the ground, and then the referee lets it go.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, he whistled it dead as soon as the guy hit the ground. So that was a bad call, because that legitimately was a fumble.
Yeah.
And that one, I agree with. However, and the reason why I make the argument that it's all defense is the fact that there was 2 touchdowns that Jacksonville scored that were a running back, running the ball, was untouched for 20 yards. And that is the story of our year, ladies and gentlemen. Bad linebacker play and bad D-line play. And there you go. Boom.
Yeah.
100%. Life's a bitch, and then you fucking lose in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, when it came to those 2 calls, like I don't think people understand the whole forward progress stuff. Like if your progress gets stopped at a certain point, they're gonna whistle the ball dead, and then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know? And I know people they want them to let the play continue, but I mean for the player's safety they can't really do that. And then on the one where they whistled it early, I don't know. I've always been in the camp of, I really think we should, or the league should make the refs full-time referees. I mean that's their job. Because a lot of these guys are they have other jobs when they're not doing the referees.
Yeah, like fucking Ed Hockey's a fucking lawyer.
Yeah. And I think they should be paying them as employees of the NFL so they can sit there and train full time on what
get their skills up.
Exactly, because they seem to be changing the rules or tweaking the rules every year.
Right.
And they've been on this whole concussion safety kick for the last 3 years. And the referees don't really know. Okay, at what point do I blow the whistle to prevent concussions or prevent somebody getting hurt? A season ending or a life, ending, not life. Well, it could be life ending.
Yeah, it could be.
But a debilitating injury. At what point? But I think if you get them more training, they'll be better equipped to make those type of calls and a more accurate call and a more enjoyable game to watch. But did you see, or there's talks of the NFL doing away with special teams? With the kickoffs and the punt returns and stuff like that.
No, I didn't know if there was anything new on that.
Yeah, actually, 610 Sports here locally, they did a little talk about it. Apparently, someone from the league made a comment about they're talking about getting rid of pretty much special teams.
For what reason?
Because of because
people crashing into each other.
Exactly, pretty much what they're talking about.
Oh, I've gotten my bell rung, and I've rung a few bells doing that. It's when you have people like like you see those I don't know, movies that take place in like the Crusade times or whatever, where there's like sword fighting and they're just like. Right, they're like screaming and they smash that scene where they show right at the 50-yard line in those movies where they come together and all you hear is like bodies crashing and swords smashing.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that.
Yeah,
but it's also not kind of like that either. There's a lot of running that you do first, and a lot of people. So there's always a fucking moron that runs down there and dives headfirst into like a group of 6 people. Uh-huh. That's the guy that gets the problem.
Yeah,
he's the guy that's walking into walls when he's 60.
Yeah.
It might have been, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's the truth, though. It's the truth. I played football for a long time, too. So, I mean, I could be that guy when I'm 60 myself. But, point is that not everybody is that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Some people try to...
so they protect themselves.
Yeah, try to prevent themselves from getting those type of injuries. But, I mean... I don't know. I think that will be the nail in the coffin of the NFL because they've already shown that they're steadily losing viewers every single week.
Well, I think people are losing. I think people are here. Okay, follow me on this. I think they're losing viewers because people are finding out that the NFL is not a lot different than the WWE. I think a lot of that shit is fucking staged, which is what explains to me. Oh, we have a call in, everybody.
Oh snap.
Hello, Megalon and friends. You are on the line. You are live.
Hey, man. I just got some thoughts about some of this stuff. I'm listening to the football stuff, right? Are we still on that?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you about my high school football experience, kind of what football did to me, and it pertains directly to working out. And here's how it happened. I I bought into, and like I think high school football. I mean, like football in general, athletics. I don't know why I'm weighing on this. I just feel like I need to. I was listening to the channel, so I thought maybe I'd say what I felt. But yeah, so I learned how to work out incorrectly for about 4 consecutive years, and now I look like a shark bear with spina bifida and scoliosis. I look terrible, like as an adult. I don't know if that's pertinent at all. I just wanted to be part of this whole thing.
Well, we appreciate your opinion. So, did you ever have to? I guess the topic that we're on at this point is protecting your head. Did you do that, or were you instructed to run head first into people's trunk, which tends to be a lot more stable and sturdy than a neck?
I'm just going to be honest with you, and like I'm going to divulge everything in this conversation. When I was in high school, was probably one of the most unathletic people that ever walked planet Earth. I did play football because I was tough,
Right, that's what you
like,
do when you're tough in high school.
Salty Kansas kid. My dad was a logger, so like I went out and did that stuff. But yeah, I was really unathletic. Definitely could have gotten hurt, especially like you played in Topeka, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if I would have played in a larger high school, like where there were athletic people, for sure would have gotten hurt. But yeah, didn't have to worry about that because the 4 kids that I was teeing off with at practice, 3 of them were coordinated enough to walk upright and speak words. So,
well, I tell you what, I appreciate you calling in. And who am I speaking with?
this is Shark Bear.
Shark Bear. Right on, Shark Bear. Well, don't be a stranger. Call in again at some point in time if you feel the need. Otherwise, you call in again later on this show if you need to weigh in again, because you're our very first ever call-in person. So we appreciate you.
I'll send you guys some dick pics here in a minute.
Perfect. Dick pics are great. All right, bud. Thanks, bud. Well, there we go. First calling of the entirety of this show.
Very serious.
But he does bring up a good point, though. Is that a lot of these people these days, I don't know if you so the way a lot of these guys practice nowadays is they do all their work not all of it, but they do a lot of their work in the off season, and then when they're in season, the practice that they do and the games kind of keep them in shape. And I'm sure they do a little bit of like maintenance workouts and things like that. But by and large, they get ready in the off season, in the preseason for their season. I think that's a problem too. I think these guys are having, they're soft as far as I'm concerned. I don't know, like, let me just come out and say it.
Yeah.
Nobody form tackles anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody's interested in stripping the ball, and everybody's interested in making a highlight. They want to make that, that ESPN top 10 plays of the week or whatever, and it's losing them games. I mean, I can even, like, a lot of people were bummed out that Peters isn't a Chief anymore, and I don't think I care.
Yeah.
Because he does that. He gambles and loses a lot.
Yeah.
He gambles and he wins, and when he wins pretty big, but he gambles and loses a lot more than he wins.
Well, you see that a lot more in the secondary. I mean, you don't see a lot of secondary guys actually making form tackles. It's, it's let me throw my body at this person and knock them out of bounds, even though more often they end up hurting themselves because they're not the biggest guys on the field. So, they just try to blast, use their body weight to blast somebody out of bounds.
Blast.
That's what they try to do.
Phone blast, media blast.
Yeah. But I also think it's the equipment too with the helmets and the shoulder pads and everything, because like you don't see any of this happening in like rugby.
No.
You don't see the type of injuries that happen in the
Are
NFL.
you proposing right here and right now that we tell the NFL to stop using helmets and shoulder pads?
Yeah, sure, why not? They're not going to listen to me anyways.
Oh, they might.
Yeah.
We are media moguls.
Well, then I guess
we're on the airwaves and our opinion counts.
I can have that. I'll have that conversation.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's set up a meeting. Well, bottom line is that a lot of these people, a lot of these fans around here were saying, we're just happy to be making the playoffs, and like somebody would talk shit like a Raiders fan or a Broncos fan there, and they would say something along the lines of like, oh, well, who made the playoffs? I got to be honest with you. I don't give a shit whether we're 0-16 or whether we make it to the championship game and lose and don't make it to the Super Bowl. I don't give a shit. It's a season for nothing. You might as well have not even shown up to the stadium.
Yeah.
Period.
Then I mean,
That's the way I